Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Daily's 2A News. Today I want to talk about a video that was sent to me by a viewer who said that, hey, this video, it looks like this guy's privacy was violated to me. And so I went over there and I checked out this video, and it's pretty incredible what happened to this guy. He's under investigation for buying oil filters. Okay, he's got a truck channel. His channel's called Truck Master. I'll link it down below as well as the video. But yeah, the Homeland Security actually showed up at this guy's house to investigate him for buying oil filters. Now, before we get started, I want to thank the people that help support this channel, like the Firearms Policy Coalition, a fantastic group of people that's out there defending our Second Amendment rights every single day. So make sure you become a member and you donate when you can. And the USCCA, who is there to protect you should you find the need to protect yourself. Always have that USCCA membership handy. Call 911, then call the USCCA, and they'll help you out. Now, make sure you guys actually watch the video that I'm talking about, because obviously he goes over everything with a lot more context and a lot more detail than I'm going to in this video. So if you guys are interested in this story, it's definitely worth watching. But basically, this guy's got a truck channel. His channel's called Truck Master. He works on a lot of trucks. He works on friends' trucks. He reviews things, a lot like the channels that we have here, except, the parts that he reviews are going to be a little bit different, obviously, right? Well, on his channel, he was working on a specific truck, and he also had his girlfriend's truck, and they were kind of going through different things. And one of the parts that was involved was oil filters. So he went through a bunch of different oil filters that, could possibly work for whatever project that he was working on, and he bought a bunch of different ones. Well, somehow that caught the attention of Homeland Security, and Homeland Security decided to act on that. Somehow, I guess, must have got a warrant and checked out this guy's eBay account. They checked out all of the websites that he had been visiting. They were able to basically go through his entire history and see what he's been purchasing. And he used that information from what he's been purchasing on top of the fact that this guy's a veteran to somehow assume that he could possibly, maybe, I don't know, could be breaking the law. So they went and they actually paid him a visit. And apparently these guys actually drove from far away to come visit this guy in the middle of nowhere to work on their investigation of what could maybe possibly potentially be a crime. And the crime was buying oil filters. That's it. That's all the guy did. He bought oil filters. Now, here's the thing. The reason that they decided to kind of look into this further is because, as most of us know, you could potentially use an oil filter to silence something. Okay, I don't want to say what that something is because, the powers that be here at YouTube just like to demonetize absolutely everything that they can. So I don't want to say what that is, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You can use an oil filter, modify it, screw it at the end of something, and you could quiet it down. So based on that alone, from what it seems like to me, they use that information to go after this guy. And again, check out his history and what he's purchased. And they had a pamphlet with them, or a binder with them. And that binder was full of paperwork. And that paperwork listed all of his transactions, all of his purchases, and the things that he had. This guy has video camera footage from his doorbell, I believe, of the guys actually coming up and talking to him. And he says, hey, look, this is for what I do. This is for my trucks. Brought him around to his garage, showed him the trucks, showed him the diesel that he's working on, showed him the oil filters and everything else. This guy wasn't even aware that they could be used for that specific purpose that they were investigating. But at the end of this video, they left without really saying, okay, we see that you're just using them for what they're supposed to be used for, and so this investigation is over. They kind of left it open-ended. So now this guy doesn't even know whether or not he's still under investigation, whether they're still looking at all of his purchases, or whether they're still violating his right to privacy. Okay, so he gave them everything that they wanted. Okay, showed them everything that they wanted to see. And still, this guy doesn't have a final word of whether or not he's still under investigation. So there are so many things wrong with this situation. One, you have somebody being investigated for buying something that's perfectly legal. Okay, it's perfectly legal to buy. I can go right now and buy 3 pallets of oil filters. It's perfectly legal for me to do, even if I don't want to use them. I can just buy them and just sit them. I can buy them, sit them in my garage, and a year later just decide to give these oil filters away. Okay, it's perfectly legal to buy tons of oil filters. And you shouldn't be scrutinized and put under investigation for that. Okay, it's an oil filter. So you have these people who are overstepping their boundaries, okay, like the ATF and like Homeland Security, who routinely overstep their boundaries, going after somebody for something that's perfectly legal. And that's what we need to take away from this. And if a warrant was actually gained in order to get into this guy's account, what was the criteria that was used to obtain that warrant? What was told to the judge who has to, issue the warrant, what was told to the judge to get that judge to say, yeah, this is something that's serious enough to validate a warrant? I'd like to know, because if it's, hey, this guy bought a lot of oil filters and oil filters could be used for that, then the bar is set way too low. And we need to make sure that there's some type of law in place that raises that bar up higher to where our privacy can't be invaded by one of these, ABC offshoots of, hey, we're going to violate your rights today, agencies, just simply off of a whim. The bar shouldn't be low enough for them to be able to look into what we're doing privately, like it did for this guy. So, I mean, I feel terrible for this guy who is under investigation for something like this, that he had to go through something like this. That could be really nerve-wracking. You got a wife, you got kids, you have, a life that you're trying to live, you're trying to work and make money and, make an honest living. And now you have to deal with this. That can be very stressful, thinking that, you could potentially lose your freedoms over buying something that's perfectly legal. Even if he was to be arrested for this, right? Let's say they arrest him and it turns out later on that, yeah, he just had him for oil filters. The cost and the time that's associated with defending yourself against something like that could put somebody in the poorhouse for the rest of their life. It could bankrupt somebody. It's very expensive to defend yourself, and a lot of times you're not going to want to go with the public defender because, they're just public defender. Let's just say it that way. You don't want to be defended by a public defender, so if you want an actual competent attorney, it's going to cost you some money. And so you could see that it could be life-changing for people. It's not just the fact that somebody showed up at his house, he showed him he was doing the right thing and they left. This could be something that could change everything for somebody who never did anything wrong. So you have all these agencies that are overstepping their boundaries, which is what took place here, at least, for the time being, in my opinion, from what I can see. I don't know the full story, obviously. I mean, there could be something nefarious up that I just don't know about. But based on, my judge of character and what I see from the way this guy is talking and, the information that he provided us, at least in my opinion, it looks like this guy's just a normal, average, everyday, ordinary veteran who's out there just trying to make a living and grow his channel. So you guys can see that you need to be very, very careful out there. We all know that there's these things called solvent traps, and these solvent traps, they can be used as well. And so I know a lot of people are out there and they're on eBay and they're buying these solvent traps and, maybe using them for stuff that's other than a solvent trap. Well, just know that the ATF, Homeland Security, all these places, they're watching you. And apparently just from buying an oil filter or a solvent trap, they'll come visit you at your house. So it is an unnerving thing to think about, and I wanted to bring this to your attention. So I suggest you watch the video again down below. Throw this guy some support. Maybe subscribe to him if you're into trucks. He's actually got a pretty cool channel. So I want to thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.